Greetings, dear, precious, magnificent spirit soul, divine being that you are. Remember that and never forget it. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose and then out through your mouth. Get used to breathing. You need oxygen breathing in through the nose and into your heart and out of your mind. And you'll always know what to say, what to do in the right moment, in the right way. All right, my topic, repetition is the key to getting what you want. See, habits are formed by repetition. I have a course called 21 Days to Personal Riches. And there's an audio tape set that goes with that and like a small workbook. All right. So, and I did the 21-day retreat experiment when I had my retreat center in Washington State. This was after I had left my television ministry and congregation in San Diego in 1985. So what I did then, I knew that it takes 21 days to change a habit, and we're creatures of habit. And what we do over and over becomes habituated, obviously, just like you think of an old vinyl record or before, and if you keep that going in the needle in the same groove, it'll make a rut. That's like people are in a rut. Going over this, it's like a road where everybody they never fix the road, but you got the 2 tire marks, and pretty soon, the middle part, you can't even go over, it's too high because the trucks are on the deep holes, because I live in the country. So anyway, it's that rut. And so I thought, okay, it takes 21 days. So actually, after a while, it only takes a moment. It just takes a moment. But it's working up to it. And I'm also offering the 21-day Divine Experiment retreat for those who want to actually do a whole renewal, to actually apply. You tell me what you want to attain, and we schedule it, we work it out so that you have all those patterns set and have been repeating them so they become your way of living, your way of being, whether it's the food you're eating, how you handle your body, the health of your body. It would be of your consciousness of controlling your mind and your mastering your powers of manifestation, your meditation practices and in nature, and a whole rejuvenation kind of a process. And means repetitive. Know that. So when I talk of rejuvenation, I'm juvenile. That means childlike. Our own nature is childlike, and yet we're wise. People say, "Oh, you're childish." No, we're childlike, and we are absolute divine wisdom, which always knows what to do in any reality that we are in at any time, or playing with, or being in, or such. We are always superior to that. And then in our workshops, and so I do this also on weekend. I would say there's 4-day, or it's really like you would get there like on a Thursday night. So we would have an intro, and then we work Friday, Saturday, and after lunch on Sunday, to give you time to get wherever you need to get in your airport to get back and all that. And then there's also vacation rentals, there's camping, there's whatever you like. And then some people, if they're really cool, you could stay at the retreat center and work that out. But anyway, so it takes 21 days to actually set in a new habit. And so this course that I did, the 21 Days to Personal Riches, there's the audio tape you can listen to, and you got this workbook that you can work with a little bit. And then you set up your own plan for the next 21 days. And you want every day to do something that is, what would you say? It is, say if you say, let me give an example. Okay, in 21 days, I want to be able to play the piano so that I can actually play some songs by notes or not notes, however I want. All right. Then every day you would need to do what? Definitely. You got to play the piano. Okay. Now, you might want to get a book by someone who has, or you may want to be playing by heart, by natural, and work out your way, because there's all kinds of ways to play the piano. You don't have to play by somebody else's rules. Just don't bang on the piano or whatever. And that's what I do when little kids come to the house, and a family retreat and such. These are wonderful for communication and family power, and to do that. And also I've done weddings and celebrations here with friends and family for retreats and weddings. It's really, really nice. And also when I've done the ceremonies for baptisms, I really call it it's not even it's a christening, but it's really an acknowledgement that this is a divine being here. And that each person, the godparents, the parents, and family members and friends there, will actually talk to the child and say what you can count on me for, to remember, and for you to be who you are. We need to be now doing and building our, what would you say, our path, our road to personal riches. And those are the riches of the soul, the mind, the body, the environment, however that means, which is nature, the richness of nothing. Nothing anybody could build in some kind of a building anywhere could ever surpass even the beauty of this water here, and the glistening when the sun hits even the snow right now, beginning to sparkle like diamonds, and they're beautiful, and it's everywhere, and it's a gift because it's here. When we perceive then through the spiritual, our spiritual eyes. So this will all, and it's a spiritual also work for people who would like to actually become practitioners of spiritual healing, and do that over a 21-day period of time, where we work consistently and continuously for you, so that everything is directed towards what you want to attain, and how you're going to attain, and your nature and your character. So we talk about that and we work it out. Then also retreats, and also counseling. And I teach counseling. I call it counseling because coaching is fine for some people, because they're more like cheerleaders, and did you show up on time, and did you work out, and all these kinds of things. But as counseling, and as a spiritual therapist, a spiritual healing facilitator, or call that, I operate on a different way. I operate from the divine, only because it works. It's great. It's just like, yeah. Oh, you think I'm dumb? I think a lot of people thought, oh, she had her big television ministry and left in 1985, and oh, what a scandal. No big scandal, actually. It was like, it was over. And I knew it was over, and I didn't know how it was going to get over. And then the voice from the sky, and talking to me, probably chipped or some kind of a thing, I figured, you're not doing this anymore. But I knew that was the truth, and it was for me to continue on my spiritual journey, to find out, because I only had a partial truth. That kind of teaching has some truths, but it is geared in a specific way for the mind, for the material world. And yet what you want is, you don't go to the effects to have what you need. You go to cause, is who you are. And then when we're in the divine and we operate in that world, and how we learn to do that is through repetition of being in that kind of an environment for whatever it is you want to attain, where that is the environment, that's the consciousness there. For instance, if you go to someone and you want to attain something that they've never attained the equivalent of, or something like that, or far grander in the material world, whatever, and it's a material thing, they won't believe you can do it. So they are not working for you. They are actually working against you because they have envy of you. When people have envy of you because they don't know who they are, they also want to always get something from you. Yes, we're living in a world of exchange, which is perfect. And we're using what we call money right now for that. But shift your using to a spiritual tool. And yet not to make it your only source of inflow, because it's not true, or manifestation. Money is an avenue because it is set up that way. Yet don't give your power to the money, or to anyone or anything outside of you, and knowing that whatever you need, you will have that, whatever that may be, at that moment in that time. And that your work is to do your divine work, which is the way that you give your offerings to others. And in the reciprocation, people give their offerings to you. That's just like if I'm supporting someone to help them attain whatever they need, then it's important for them to support me by giving to me the equivalent of what they feel they're receiving, so that I'm also receiving and I'm able to do my work and they're empowering me. And what happens with so many people is that they don't want their teacher to be empowered, that they don't want to actually really give to where they're actually receiving the most important stuff. And why that is the sense of envy, because they're living in the mind, and that sense of miserliness and greed. That is not that you ever give beyond, don't ever give it sacrifice. That's not what it's about. And what is, no, that's not what it's about. It's about really getting into the flow, getting yourself into the reciprocation. And these all things happen by repetition. The more you do something, the more you're going to do it. The more you affirm something, the more you're going to affirm it. The more you talk about something, the more you're going to talk about it, because this is what you're doing. And because you are a manifester, you want to notice how you manifest. And most people have no idea. This is what we learn in our retreats, in counseling, teaching sessions, and also spiritual healing in that session. And learning to be a spiritual mind healer. Maybe not for everybody else, but it will be. But you could do that as your profession, because you are there to help people, and this is what's needed at this time in the real world, the eternal world, the divine that is now manifesting. The other is falling away. The key is don't get caught up in the debris that is falling away. Stay centered and you will be in the right place at the right time in the right way. And that you got to let go of the concept that your God is a destroyer and disasters are natural. They never are. That is not true and that is not natural. Yeah, but this is in the world. What they call disasters. When you're in harmony, you don't have that. Well, we need it to grow. No, you don't. That's a mind. Okay. So then you learn how the mind operates, transcend the mind, and the controlling of the mind, and it's that. So that's what my work is, and that eternally you will have no fear any longer of the fear of death or fear of anything, and that you are continuously alert and conscious and manifesting, and then doing your work. Own it, claim it, take it, and go out and you interpret it in your way, or how it works for you, for your people, for what you're doing, and we spread out like this. This is what I want you to do. And when you talk with me, we'll work it out in some way so that it's going to happen. And you can bring groups of people, some people then, or it's a phone call once in a while, or a couple times a month, and like a retainer or something. But I'm a love offering person, and I'm also know it's important for people to give. And what people are always looking for a good deal. And to me, the greatest deal of ever is what I gave to my teacher and my teachers. And all of the seminars I've taken, and the workshops, and the books I've read, and my own Haridas Shastriji Maharaj in India I studied with. And I have 85 of his books that he's written, and they're all in Sanskrit. These books are translations of the ancient texts of Sanskrit. Sometime I'd like to have these translated by someone who is a bhakti. And that is a personalist. You see, what it has to do with what you focus on. And this is the key, is we need to activate who we are in every single way. So it's through repetition of doing what works. Through honoring yourself. The more you honor yourself, the more you're going to honor yourself. Okay, so I love you. It only takes a moment to change a habit. And each moment that you now are being who you choose to be, who you are, and focusing on what you want to focus and manifest, and you do, you're already there.